Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Binding of Isaac Repentance, where today we'll be doing another daily challenge. This time around we'll be playing as Samson, whom we haven't really seen yet, and once again we are going to Mega Satan, which I guess is just the general area that daily runs tend to go to. There is a sacrifice room available. There is also 2 red hearts in that sacrifice room, so once again, you might have an idea of what is about to come next. A nice thing about Samson is that when he takes damage, he will get some extra damage up for the remainder of that floor. And that's hopefully going to be useful. That is the Blood Puppy. It's a fun item. I'm not taking it this time around because I want to win the daily challenge more than I want to have fun right now. Due to the fact that it's dangerous to take along with you. It's this familiar that runs around in the room, and then after it's killed X amount of enemies, it becomes bigger, but then it also starts attacking you for a decent amount of damage. And then you can attack the familiar to get the previous state back again, so it won't be attacking you until it kills X amount of enemies again. And it does deal decent damage, and it is pretty strong, but I don't want to risk it. It's a bit too much for me. As you might hear from the sound of my voice, I have not been awake for that long, and I don't want to deal with that nonsense. There is the Duke of Flies. I could use a bomb on this, but I think I'd rather save it since I only have the one. There is a bomb on this floor, which I might try and get. Also, I'm kind of tempted to take some damage, well, that worked out the moment I said it, because it does make killing these flies a little bit easier that way. So I might, I think if I take another hit, it's likely going to like one-shot these regular flies as well, and that would actually be pretty helpful. Simultaneously, I don't think I want to get hit by the Duke himself, because I think that's going to deal full heart of damage, but also if I just wait long enough, then eventually the Duke simply dies and no more flies will appear in this battle. So all in all, I'd say that worked out about as well as it could. There is currently, I think, 3.5 red hearts on this floor. And now a little bit less as I took that hit, so that's unfortunate. But let's just take this. I'm going to leave those pearls behind. Once again, we do not have mods during the daily challenge, so I just have to memorize what items do this time around. I might as well blow up these pots in case there is a quarter or something inside it. There was not, but it was worth a shot, I'd say. And let's see if our secret room is over here. It is not. That's unfortunate. Alright, well, I'm gonna just take the hit and take one more hit right there. Didn't really get anything. Let's do one more. Yeah, alright, fair enough. That probably would have been a smart thing to do earlier on, thinking about it now, because I would have gotten that damage up, but wasn't really thinking about that. Goodbye, Blood Puppy. I do love the design of the Blood Puppy as well, but it's just a bit too much for me right now. So let's take the Soul Heart. There is going to be another 1.5 Soul Hearts in our boss room as well. And that shouldn't be more than enough to at least more or less guarantee a devil deal. As the pearls also give a Soul Heart and the range up. Not too terrible. Let us take this and move along. Also, occasionally during these daily challenge videos, there is a reasonable chance that I'm just going to be either referencing videos that haven't been uploaded yet, or stuff like that, because I kind of do these at random. I don't really have a preference of when I do a daily challenge, and there's a good chance that if I upload a daily challenge video, it's going to be on the day that it's hopefully still playable at least, and that can cause some weird issues with orders of videos coming out. So my apologies if I reference to something that hasn't actually happened yet in the canon, but you know what? Eventually it'll all make sense, provided you watch everything. I actually got half a Soul Heart from a flame, which is fairly unusual. Also got a Tears Down pill, which I'm trying not to mention right now because, my god, it did something fierce to my tear rate, but that is hopefully okay. Let's see if we can get this one to die near the top wall. I don't think my secret room could be in the bottom. So if you could just move up a bit. If you could just a little bit up, because you're going to drop a bomb when you die, and that's going to save me a bomb if there is a secret room over there. Provided, wow, that actually worked out. I'm surprised that bomb wasn't too far away. It is a super secret room. It has a Babley inside it, which we don't have an active item, so I decided to blow up. I also blew it up for the Devil Deal chance, but we're on basement 2, so that wasn't entirely necessary. But the fact that there was a diamond there is quite helpful. Pretty happy about that. If we find a shop now, it's actually kind of worth to go into because we could almost certainly buy something. And we have a death card, which I'm just going to use right here. Probably not a bad idea to save that for the boss, but I don't feel like dealing with that room right now. That's really my main reasoning. I also have a temperance card, and there is a decent amount of hearts, although not all of them very accessible right now. But if we want to take something from our devil deal, I might sacrifice some of my hearts before taking it, as those hearts are going to be going away anyway. We are now one-shotting these flies as well, which is nice, so our damage is getting a little higher thanks to all the very intentional damage I've been taking. So all in all, this run is going exactly according to plan, but I would love to get my tier 8 back some way or another, because this is getting pretty bad. I hope we can at least find some tiers up somewhere along the line, because for once taking random pills all over the place is finally becoming a downside rather than an upside. And I do not love it. Do not care for it one bit. Also, the Temperance Machine could technically drop the blood bag, which might be worth trying to go for, simply due to the fact that it's a health up and it also heals you a bit. Although I guess most health ups heal you a bit these days, so that one's not as special anymore. We found a secret room, so that is wonderful. Could blow up the shopkeeper, I suppose. There could be a 50% off in there, technically. I think a lot of coins this run, though, so I'm not sure if we even need the 50% off. But I am a little curious if we can reach that full heart over there. As if we could, there would be 2.5 hearts that we can currently reach. Yeah, we can. And that might be worth just playing this machine for. That's a tinted rock next to some bombs, so that works out. Whole bunch of hearts out of that one. That's actually a surprising amount of things from that. So that worked out very well. And both our secret room, or our item room and shop, are on this side of the floor. So all in all, things are working out quite nice. Hoping that this card is rather good, because I kind of want to try and get it. And that's Hagalaz, so I guess I'll take it anyway, because that's going to remove everything. Hanged Man. I'm happy I didn't use a bomb on that. I think I'd rather keep the Temperance card, if I'm honest. So I think I will. That is another soul heart. It's not a soul heart. At least it's spiders occasionally. I thought it gave you soul hearts. I guess it just heals red hearts instead. Which is fine, I suppose. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to play this machine for a little bit here. Getting a pretty high amount of coins. You can go all the way down to 0 red hearts now with these machines and the demon beggars as well, provided that you have soul hearts, so that's also kind of a nice, kind of a quality of life change, I suppose. But I might just use this Hangman card, actually, thinking about it, to get those 1.5 red hearts as well, and maybe play the machine for a little bit longer to see if I can maybe get a blood bag out of it. If not, then at least we can hopefully sacrifice those red hearts to our devil deal. And at least we got some use out of our Hanged Man card. So I'm no longer as upset about potentially having used a bomb on it, even though we clearly didn't have to, because of the Hagalaz card that we found. I'm playing this extremely safe, I guess, outside of maybe doing this, I suppose. I might go to half a heart, actually. Yeah. Didn't mean to pick up that coin, but actually, I only had 0, so actually that kind of worked out. But yeah, I'm playing this pretty excessively safe, simply due to I do not want to lose my daily run win streak, because I just want to get 5 of those in the bag, and then after that, I'll do 2 more somewhere along the line, and the rest of them are just going to be suiciding at the start, simply due to the getting 30 of those daily runs completed. But for now, it is just going to be a lot of very careful planning. Baby Plum I'm tempted by the plum flute, but not enough. I've decided. I took a second to think on that one, but my damage is actually really good right now, and I need the tier 8. And I did not make a real attempt of dodging that, unfortunately. But yeah, my tier 8 is so bad right now, and I really need something to fix that more than I need the plum flute, unfortunately. So I'm sorry, my friend. That is a health up. Yeah, alright. Well, I guess that's fine. And that's a goat head, which is more than fine, I suppose. We'll be taking that. And I guess, I could go all the way back to that blood donation machine one more time to just get the most of it. Maybe we can get the active item as well if we played a couple more times. I think I'll go down to 1 red heart. Not sure if I'm loving this. No, actually no, I've decided against it. I'm gonna see if I can get an arcade room on my next floor, so I can use that to take the damage on that floor instead, and therefore end up having a little bit more damage out of it. I think that's the better play here. Provided that we were not going to get the blood bag. Obviously, if we could get the blood bag after 1 more use of the machine, it would be better, but I don't really have a way of guaranteeing that right now, so instead, I'm just gonna go down and keep on going that way instead. We are getting a flooded cave. We do not know where their health is, but it's about... it's a decent amount, I suppose. It's like 6.5 hearts or something like that. If I remember correctly, I will wait with that curse room for just a minute, because I have been taking some weird damages here and there. These enemies are pretty rough due to the fact that they shoot where you're going rather than where you're currently standing, so you kind of have to wait for them to shoot and then quickly run afterwards. But if you know what you're doing, it's not too terrible. Using the flashlight to slow these enemies down a bit. It's not the worst idea, but it can be a little scary once they get out of the flashlight range. But for times like this, I think it also takes a while for them to actually stop being a puddle. A puddle on the floor, so that kind of works out there as well. That's a lot of red hearts. That's 3.5 red hearts on the floor. So I might actually go in here. I think I currently have 3 red heart containers, so I guess I will just do this a couple times. One more. And we got Gimpy, which is very good. And we got one of our red hearts back. Didn't get a soul heart after taking damage from the curse room door, as Gimpy can give us some extra good stuff there, but I healed up a bunch. We have our damage high, and all in all, this makes the floor a lot more bearable with this character. And I lost my black heart, given that the room died, but we did get a 2 of clubs, which I'll keep until I have to use a bomb, I guess, or until I forget that I'm going to use a bomb, and then use it all willy-nilly. That is the... God damn it. That's the candy heart, which gives you stat ups when you pick up hearts. So it's a little unfortunate that I just spent a lot of red hearts and then healed immediately. Did not anticipate getting this item, unfortunately, because that would have given us some very decent stat ups right there. But it's a good thing to get early on in a run, because it means that we have even more incentivization to actually take red heart damage, so that is nice. There is also a lot of red hearts on the floor, so if there is an arcade room on this floor, we can get some pretty decent stat ups here, so that is pretty useful. Now, these enemies, if you don't miss, they die quickly, so that worked out. If there is a secret room here, and I think it's next to the item room, but perhaps it can also be over here. It can also be over here, so I will use that 2 of clubs because I remembered. And it's next to the item room, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Of course it is. That's how it usually works out with a fish head. I wasn't actually aware I was holding the child's heart, but I think that's an unlock for Samson. To start with that, and I'm not really sure how you unlock it actually, but it's not terrible. But especially given our build right now, I actually wouldn't mind getting as many red hearts as possible. So I think I will just keep that. That is the habit. which charges your item when you take damage, which, given that we have 4 to 4 coins right now, it's not bad. I think it's also part of the Seraphim transformation, which is arguably kind of irrelevant right now because we've already taken a devil deal, so it's very unlikely we're gonna get that. But if there is a Bible and maybe like a wafer somewhere along the way, that would be very nice. And given the situation, I'm guessing our super secret room is over here. And it has an eternal heart. And I do not think there's a way for us to take any more red heart damage other than the worst way, so I think I will just leave that alone for now. I'm not too disappointed with picking up that eternal heart immediately, even though we could technically lose it somewhere by doing something stupid. But we'll just slowly but surely go through this. This is going to take a minute. Hopefully he's going to do his tier attack after a bit, because it is a little bit easier, in my opinion, to do some good work on him. A little bit tedious how he's not actually getting slowed down by my flashlight here, but at least the enemies he's spawning are getting slowed down, so that's kind of nice. But I would have appreciated if we could just keep him above ground a little bit longer using this flashlight. I'm surprised he's not using his tiers. Is this a champion or something? Because he is just not... He doesn't care. That was unusual for sure. Oh well. There is Krampus, which might give us Krampus' head, which I actually wouldn't say no to right now. Or coal, which I also wouldn't say no to right now. So I guess either way this is going to work out in our favor. There is another Eternal Heart, so I can turn that into something good. Also, if he moves slightly before using his Brimstone, that's how you know he's going to use his spinning attack. Other than that, just stay away from his potential diagonal or horizontal Brimstone attacks right there. Might as well take that, I suppose, which gave us a stat up because it counted as picking up a red heart. So fair enough, I suppose. Death or stars? I think I prefer stars, although I have a lot of... We're not going to get our boss rush, so that's irrelevant. Might actually keep death. It's not terrible. There is still a key there, which I'd never picked up. Might as well take that. And there is the challenge room to consider as well, but I don't really feel like it. I can't reach that key, so I think I will just be on my way. There might technically be an item in that chest in the challenge room, but I'll just leave that alone for now, I think. Should we have 4 red hearts? Yeah. So if we can once again try and find a donation machine to put hearts in, or another demon beggar, that's going to be ideal. There is a rainbow poop, which is going to heal a lot of our red hearts as well. So that's pretty amazing. There is 2 more red hearts on the floor. That's, yeah, we need to find some way to take red heart damage. If need be, I could just leave all the soul hearts on the floor for now and just deliberately take all my soul hearts in damage somewhere along the line, especially when you have a rock like that, like those spiky rocks right there. I could just use that to just take a boatload of damage. I will destroy one of them because I'm curious if there's anything over here, and I also wanted this golden chest, which gave us a bunch more money as well. But yeah, it's a tempting idea for sure to just try and just lose all of my soul hearts and try and pick up as many red hearts on the floor as possible, because I think the stat ups are going to be worth it given the amount of red hearts on the floor, plus the amount of red hearts that we are going to get using the Child's Heart trinket. There's another soul heart right there. We're also just getting a lot of soul hearts on this floor, which is ideal. That's the bursting sack, which is going to stop enemy spiders from caring about me. Not as effective as it is on the basement, but it's still pretty good. Plus I think occasionally it does also make spiders appear. That sounds right, that sounds real. So that's kind of nice. We have a 100% devil deal chance, so I might as well do the boss now. Although arguably it might be better to wait a little bit just before I take a couple hits somewhere. If I can just find any temperance card or blood donation machine or something like that, it will make the boss a lot easier. Simultaneously, if I'm trying to get rid of my soul hearts, I guess that doesn't matter too much. But I don't know. Once again, I do like the idea of playing it as safe as I can until I want to lose all of my health. I could also just go into the curse room as well to get rid of my heart, so that is nice that that is an option. But the main thing I need to be careful of is not accidentally dying to something stupid, and I can see myself doing it. I'm not sure if destroying a rainbow poop when I'm low on red hearts counts as picking up health. I doubt it will, but I'm surprised that the eternal heart counted as well. And I'm also kind of curious if the eternal heart would have counted if I only had half a heart and it would have activated on the next floor. Don't need to worry about spiders, so I can just save those for last. These are not going to do any damage to me. I can just run into them thanks to the bursting sack. So that's wonderful. That's interesting. I will just take that because I didn't have an active item anyway. I'll also take the 2 of hearts, which is not too terrible. But yeah, Duploplio can have some interesting effects for sure. And there is a red card over there, which can have some interesting effects as well. But given that I simply do not remember what most of them do, it might not be the best idea. Also, it's in a pretty bad spot, if I'm being honest, so that's not ideal. But we have this, and this is effectively what I was looking for. I'm curious what you can actually get from this outside of the obvious, because oh, and Gimpy as well. I mean, you can get black hearts out of this as well. Oh, this is gonna be a trip. I mean, I'm curious if you can get an item from this, because with the regular shell game, you get the Scuttle, which is pretty damn great. So many soul hearts on the floor. That's funny. Plus these spiders that he's dropping aren't even doing anything to me. So that's just wonderful. We got a luck up right there. Might be worth playing this machine right here as well. It costs 5 coins to use, but you can get an item out of it if you're lucky. And apparently we're lucky immediately. Usually you just end up losing 15 times in a row, but we got our tier rate back up, so that's incredible. Like, that's what usually happens. You put a coin in, it makes that sound, and then you're sad. But yeah, well, that went surprisingly well. I'm a little curious, as I said previously, if destroying the rainbow poop counts, because I feel like it shouldn't. However, let's see. Nope, just healed our red hearts. So that's actually kind of a good thing to know, because I was curious about that. I will then simply once again play this shell game. But I am still curious if there's a point where we're gonna try and get an item instead. Might as well get some... Oh, that's not terrible. The crown there, I wouldn't mind actually getting that. It does require us to be at full red hearts, I think, which is not exactly what I want, because I want to pick up red hearts, but actually I need to be at like 1 red heart, don't I, for that item? That could be awkward, but I'm sure we can find some way to make it work. Alright, I think I can safely pick up these soul hearts right now without really feeling too bad about it. I could probably also just take the red card over there. Once again, if you just drop spiders, then I have no problem with that. Although I'm not sure if the jumping spiders are equally nice to us. So that's, I guess, a thing to look out for. But I will just pick up a couple red hearts here to get those tiny but effective stat ups right now. That's a spooked heart. The stat ups are pretty insignificant as a singular stat up, but it does add up after a while. So I would like to make the most use out of this as possible. I will just check out my curse room real quick. Curse at the tower. Very fun, but not... Again, playing it safe, not playing this in a way that is almost certainly going to get me killed. But we are getting just a ridiculous amount of soul hearts this run as well, so I'm not too concerned, I suppose. But if we can take at least... I'm just going to get rid of all my red hearts, I suppose, on this game. And anything else that we have left over afterwards, I will just take that as a win. I feel like it's likely that we're going to get a devil deal that's worth taking, especially with Duploplio. Like, if we can get double brimstone or something like that, that would be amazing. But there are also some other items which are just great if you can get multiples of them. It's sad that my regular blue spiders are killing the other spiders right now, but fair enough. Also, I guess I can just keep playing this machine with my soul hearts as well, because there's so many of them on the floor. Sun card? Yeah. Sure. Because I wasn't done yet, you see. Plus now we also know that the sun card also doesn't count as picking up a heart. But yeah, I could technically just use some of my soul hearts on this thing as well to try and get the black crown, but simultaneously I feel like the actual appearance of the item itself seems fairly rare, so I don't think I'm going to bother with that. But it's nice to know this one also drops cards. I could have used the two of hearts somewhere during that, but I didn't. I'm just gonna take all of these and move on, I think. I'm a little bored, so let's just blow up this machine. Get half a heart out of that, which is another 0.10 damage up. We get another speed up as well. The speed up especially, because I feel like we've gotten actually okay speed from picking up all the red hearts. So that's kind of nice. I could go into my secret room as well, since we're... Well, it's there. Might as well blow up that one. We're getting a lot of luck up as well, so if we can get some kind of positive luck items, that would be wonderful. If we can get flight, we can get that heart as well. And we get a little bit more tier 8 from that. That is the Fallen. So that is going to give us yet another Devil Deal item after he dies. So that is just great. And I suppose it would maybe be good to keep some red hearts for the sake of taking more damage, but I'm sure we can find a way. This is Guppy's Eye? Yeah, I think it tells you what is in fires. Like there's 2 red hearts next to that fire right now, and if I destroy it, 2 red hearts will come out. And it'll do that for a variety of things. I don't really know what this is, and once again I'm scared, so I will play this exceptionally. Will I? No. Demonic Gestation. Oh, it's this thing. Okay, that's actually... I mean, it's fun. But I'd rather do something with this if I could, so I will just leave that alone. But I didn't know that was... I guess it makes sense that that is an unlockable. That's going to be a story for another time, but it is... yeah, it's so good. It's so good with in the circumstances that it appears in for the first time. But I will just take the remaining hearts on this floor. I'm happy to have gotten the knife, because that is going to make this run significantly easier, even if we do not take the damage. And at this point I might actually just make a run for it, I suppose, because the knife is exceptional. It does so much damage. Our range is pretty bad though, so I'm a little concerned about that. Also, our candy heart isn't going to do nearly as much if we're only at 1 red heart, I suppose, as well. But anytime we can make some kind of use out of it, I would be pretty pleased. But it would be nice if our Devil Deal gave us something exciting to use as well. But we'll see what we can get as we progress through this run. There's 3 coins in this chest, so I would argue that's not really worth taking. But we did take some extra damage there for our Samson-related shenaniganry, so that is lovely. And let's just once again make a run for it. This is, again, not too spooky because the spiders are simply... Well, they all died instantly because of the knife, but also due to the fact that the spiders are not going to attack us right now anyway, so that worked out. That is the Book of Secrets, which gave us a map this time around, so that is wonderful. I think Gimpy actually dropped a soul heart in that curse room right there, so I guess I could technically just open it. We're in depths 1, so I'll just fight the boss real quick to see what's in my Devil Deal. See if it's worthwhile. And yeah, our damage is stupid, so that's pretty great. That is Death's List, which is fine. It is a way to get stat ups. And there are still some soul hearts on this floor, so there's really no reason not to take it. We're gonna get that eternal heart when we leave the floor as well. So that's not really a concern. This room will never damage us. Well, Bursting Sack is actually a lot better than I gave it credit. Because all of those rooms are just effectively nothing. Like, it's really great. Might as well take some of these. It makes our heart disgusting. But it also makes us spawn flies every time we enter a new room. But if we take red heart damage, it's going to get rid of the entire red heart rather than just half of it. So up and down sides, these are not worth it. I guess I'm kind of happy with Guppy's Eye right now. And arguably it would have not been a terrible idea to use Duploplio on it because I think that would have counted as 2 Guppy pieces, but simultaneously Guppy with the knife is not really that exciting. Oh, even these enemies aren't going to damage us. Alright, yeah, never mind what I said about... that's pretty good. Never mind what I said about the bursting sack. It's actually incredible, as it turns out, in terms of how much use it actually gets. We're gonna be at pretty decent red hearts in a second as well again, so that's nice. That is a sticky thing, and also I believe a fly or some such destroyed one of those enemies, so Death's List wasn't really applicable, which isn't great, but what can you do? We got shot speed up from doing it in that order, and yeah, Guppy's Eye is helping us out a lot with our decision making as well, so that's quite lovely. That is Restock. Again, not an item that works as well as it used to, in that every time you buy a new thing, it's going to increase the price of said item as well, and that's not ideal. Really just did that to show it off because we're going to get a red heart container covering up that last heart over there, so yeah, we're gonna just lose that immediately, but it gives an idea of how the item works now, I think. Where is our secret room? Did I find my secret room already? I did not. It could be on the other side over here as well. I could check the adjacent rooms a little bit better to see if it's actually possible for those things to actually have secret rooms there, but yeah. I'm in a hurry. I got places to be. I've been doing this run for 29 minutes and we're at Necropolis 1, so maybe I should try and hurry up a little bit. We already have the knife as well, so I should probably use it at some point and actually try and make a run for it. But simultaneously getting a lot of red hearts here. There's a coin in that fire. Getting a lot of red hearts the way we've been playing so far has not been terrible either. And this time we didn't get a stat up, but a pill. It's Hematemesis, which is actually a good pill right now in combination with the candy heart. And yeah, once again, the Guppy's Eye is helping us with our decision making, so that is wonderful. It means we do not have to bother with that, and instead we can simply move on. But we did take the damage once again from the curse room, so we will be dealing a little bit of extra damage on this floor because of it. And another pill for 48-hour energy, which is fairly irrelevant for our purposes right now. But it's nice that it exists, I suppose. Maybe we'll find an active item somewhere during this run that's worth taking over Duploplio, but it's unlikely, because simply the potential of this item is rather large. However, I'm having some difficulty showing it off because we're not really finding things that work well with it, but who knows, perhaps in our next devil deal. The nice thing about getting devil deals every floor rather, does make it a bit more tempting to go with it. Degas removes our curse and also gives us a soul heart. Probably not the best idea to use that immediately. Probably should have just kept it, but it's probably gonna work out just fine. We'll just look for my item room real quick because it's the last one during this run, I do believe. Unless we find something strange. But I'd say that's fairly unlikely, especially with the end thing that we have to go for. We have to go for Mega Satan after all, so the routes are a bit blocked off in terms of where we can actually go. So let's take this item room. I don't really want that. I do not think that is going to improve my run really by that much. So I will just leave that. You know what, why not? Just go wild with it. I mean, I did say I was trying to play this safely, but simultaneously this gives me a knife that's glowing, and that is aesthetically pleasing. And sometimes that's just exactly what you need to be going for. And I'd argue that today is one of those days. If I end up dying because of this, I mean, that's on me. But so far, I'm feeling confident that we can do it with this. We are going to the dark room, so this time the sacrifice room might have actually worked. Because apparently that is a thing that it doesn't really work if you cannot go to the dark room. I'm curious how this item would work with this, with the knife, because this gives you controllable tears, I believe. but not that curious. I don't care for it. It probably is a fun synergy somewhere along the line. Maybe it'll give you like a Ludo tier or something like that and just have a floating knife, but I don't want to deal with it. It is too much for little old me. Instead, let us just try and make a run for our Mega Satan ending right here. Feeling pretty confident that with the build we have, we can probably beat him, provided we can reach him without taking too much damage. Curse of the Maze putting us a little bit further in the right direction. And with the right direction, I mean the wrong direction, but at least knowing that we're going in the wrong direction. So I would argue that's a plus. Unless there is another direction we can go from this room, and we actually can. So, you know what? I'm no longer happy about that Curse of the Maze. Actually very, very bothered. Don't know if these are actually different from the regular ones, but they might shoot tears or something like that, so I'm a little bit careful whenever I see an enemy that I'm not intimately familiar with, I suppose. And I'm not really focusing on the death list order either if it's a room where I feel like I'm going to take damage if I do so. So I'd rather just clear that in my own way. There is Mr. Fred, which is probably still the easiest boss in the game, I would argue. I mean, you have to be a little patient from time to time when he does nonsense like this, but other than that, you can't really go wrong with Mr. Fred for the most part, unless he ends up spawning just a million enemies or something like that. But Mr. Fred will face the knife and call it a day as well. I'm surprised that enemy never came loose. This will give us a bunch of cards. Like the Empress. Forget what that does. Strength, also forget what that does. Two of Spades. Death. And the regular Empress. And a Tinted Rock. And a Devil Deal. And Flight. Alright, that is a choice, because Flight is pretty great. Spectral Tears do not do anything for me. Judas's Shadow is a nice safety net, but not really that much at this point in the run. I'm just gonna take neither of them, I think. I'm gonna just use this. Made everything purple. That's pretty good. And that gave us a large quantity of red hearts. Does that, are those, oh, those are those permanent? I don't feel like they are. I feel like this is a 30-second effect, which does happen with some of these items. But unfortunately, I cannot remember what that item does. So I will just wait here a little bit in case I just suddenly lose 2 of my red hearts. And then I'll just have less health. That's just not what I want right now. So instead, let's just clear a couple rooms. Maybe we can get some things on this floor somewhere along the line. I'm not really sure what I'm expecting from it. I mean, if we get permanent 2 red hearts, that's not too terrible either. It does make it more tempting to take just devil deals and stuff as well, but I don't know. I will say that I'm out of patience and I'm just gonna keep on going. On the one hand, I know I should be playing this safely due to, yeah, okay, I just lost those red heart containers, so fair enough. That actually did work as I vaguely remembered / expected, I suppose, so that worked out. But yeah, on the one hand, I want to play this as safely as possible because I just want to get that win streak. On the other hand, we have a knife and we're not going to lose, so it's just, I feel like it's gonna be okay regardless of what we do at this point. We get a speed up from a pill, that's just ideal as well. Could take the chariot because that's actually really good with the knife as well. But this clears out big rooms still, even at this point, I would argue. And that is kind of a nice thing to have with the knife. These enemies can't actually do anything, but I guess they protect the eye in the middle if you don't have something that shoots through them. Which, yeah, is exactly not the kind of case we have to worry about right now. There's a soul heart and a bomb right there. Might be useful, but unlikely because we're about to go into our mom fight. Could get some more bombs out of that as well. And we have immediately skipped the eyes spawning by dealing enough damage to mom there, so that worked out. Let's just finish that fight. I guess we can get a soul heart now, so that is lovely. I intentionally took that damage so the soul heart wouldn't feel alone. And I was curious if that was the speed up pill that I saw previously. It was not. It was experimental pill that gave us an HP down, which is not exactly what I wanted. That is when you take damage, you get speed. And I suppose at this point I might as well. This is Heartbreak, which I don't want. So let's just take that and leave. Now, taking damage, I don't really want to do that anymore at this point, but if we get something good out of it that way, then that is ideal. I think you do get... oh, I should have saved Diplopia for the Dark Room, I suppose. That would have been a smarter thing to do, probably, but that's... It'll work out, I'm sure. But yeah, the speed up... I think it's also a tier 8 up, and that's really kind of nice because it means we shoot our dagger forward just a little bit quicker. And that does have its uses. So that makes me happy. And with that, I will move on. Not really sure what any of these pills are, but I have completely lost all patience and regard for my life. So I will just run around. That's Horf. That's actually, I think, the reward for doing 30 daily challenges. You get that pill. And also, once again, Guppy's Eye in the corner of my eye is giving me the information that I required, but I always forget to check for. Because Guppy's Eye, I think it's an unlockable, and I'm not actually sure how you unlock it either, but it's one of them things that you have to do. But look at all those stat ups the moment I took damage there. That's pretty great. That is pretty great, so I'm pretty happy about that. No? It doesn't actually tell you with Tinted Rocks what's inside it with Guppy's Eye, which is a little unusual, one could argue. Oh. Need to do this a little bit carefully, I guess. Oh, not like that, though. Need to actually look at where the brimstone is, I suppose, but I could also just make a run for it and hope for the best, and that's really my way to live life in this game. Yeah, let's just get rid of that. Finally got to use out of that death card. Doesn't actually kill those enemies in one hit, as it turns out. So, fair enough. That's not really worthwhile. Don't really need red hearts at this point. But I can just safely stand here and kill these behind a rock and then take damage from them anyway. At least our health is still fine, but I do need to be at least a little careful because still got Mega Satan to do, and even though he'll die pretty quickly to the knife, I'd rather have as much health for it as possible. Plus, there might be some Devil Deal items in the Dark Room that are worth taking. So, I would like to have something available. Ran into a spiked rock there, so that is good. Ay. Oh well. I'm sure everything's gonna work out just fine with the damage that we do. And if not, we, I think there was a ghost in that chest. That's also an unlockable for doing something. But yeah. I'm sure that our damage is gonna be good enough to deal with the very shenaniganery still coming our way and not actually die from the amount of health that we lost, but it does get a little spooky. Plus, there is one for winning 7 times in general of 7 daily challenges. So we are still at the point where it doesn't matter too much if we die now. It would still count as completed the daily run. But I did take kind of a lot of damage on that floor, and I probably shouldn't have. So what is over here? We can at least see our health again, so that is nice. Wouldn't mind Death's Touch. I don't know why I'm looking at it like this. The other items are not ideal. Death's Touch gives us a little bit of extra damage, which I don't think we really need. So, I think I'll just go. Let's go and try and fight Mega Satan. Wouldn't have minded a Devil Deal item, which gave us, like, black hearts in exchange for red hearts, but we didn't. So, what are you gonna do? At least the flashlight does make this fight significantly easier in terms of the tier attacks, although this is not what you want to see. That you're actually taking so long that he starts to spawn those enemies. I mean, fair enough if he's waiting for you to kill them, but not in the middle of him still existing, so that's not looking too great for a damage situation. And I just ran into the same boss twice, which is a choice. But so far, still not the end of the world. Making this more difficult on myself by making these weird tier walls right here, but we do get stat ups every time we take damage still, and hopefully that is going to be enough for me to look at the screen again and actually win this fight. But so far, if I can get past this wave without taking too much damage, then I'm feeling pretty good about it. Otherwise, I'm gonna be scared for the rest of this fight, I think. Which is not impossible. But I did get past that one, which I'm happy about. And if I can just kill this real quick. Yeah. This wave is like the scariest one for me. I'm not sure why. They're not even super terrifying enemies or anything, but they are just very good at hitting you with a stray shot somewhere. I never truly appreciated that much, but I would say that that worked out. Plus, yeah, the angel waves, they just end, which is nice. I kind of disregarded his ability for Brimstone, which was a choice. But we should be about near the end here. We'll just take some time to dodge this. I say as I make a huge mess of things. There we go. One phase remains. Let's just be a little fun little flashlight. And then try and end this. I will just keep my flashlight pointed at him in the hopes that the flames aren't going to be too tedious to deal with because of it, because I do think they just sort of stop. There's Gimpy coming in clutch, which is great. There is also some red hearts on this room. There's actually a lot of red hearts on this room. So that is actually pretty ideal. It means I can take some more damage without really having to worry about things. Kind of unhappy that I didn't take flight now, thinking about it, but I mean, it works out. I am still getting those stat ups from my candy heart. And look at this. This is horrible. I mean, if I wait a second, it'll be gone, but it's not great, is it? I just want to hurt him as much as possible in a small amount of time, but I'm being impatient and it's causing issues. I could probably attack him diagonally with the knife as well, but let's just go through that. It worked out. No worries. Everything's fine. We did it. We beat Mega Satan. That was terrible. But fair enough. We made it to the end, and that's really the only thing I cared about, so I'm happy that worked out the way it did. That was another daily challenge. We didn't really place very well, but that's fine. I'm just happy to have made it, and I hope you were all happy about it too. So with that, I will simply turn on all my mods again for the next run. I hope you've all enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time when we will do another thing, and I hope to see you all there. Bye bye.